text in line at 901-360-8255 with that 80% that the team that wins game 3 goes on to win the finals. Are you willing to bet $1,000 with that 80%, Elijah, that the Pacers are just going to take it and go all the way now? Or do you think OKC still has a chance?
Right. I'm willing to bet it at this point after what we saw last night. I'm willing to go there. I was not willing to go there up until last night, but based on what we saw from their entire team, really, especially that bench, I'm willing to go there, guys. What about y'all?
80%. So what about you? There's two of the three. What about you? 80% chance that the Pacers bring it home.
It is an 80% chance, but
you're willing to drop $1,000. I'll give you $1,000. Who you putting it on right now with that 80% chance?
I think this series where, as for mentioned, I think everybody predicted, it's over in 5. Now it's over in 6. This series is definitely going to Game 7. But
you think it's 7 games? Think it's 7? Okay.
I think it goes 7. I think it goes all the way, and I don't know.
Now, if you are a fortune teller, Miss Cleo, as John would like to call you, fortune teller or whatnot. If you're telling me this is going 7 games, I don't like the Pacers in 7.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm with you, Elijah. I don't like if that's what you're telling me.
I think this goes 7, and I think OKC closes it out because with that going that long, OKC is gonna figure something out because the OKC we saw last night was not the OKC that's been playing in the NBA playoffs up until this point. The Pacers look more like OKC last night than OKC did. I mean, their defense was fantastic. They were crowding the paint. They weren't allowing anything to happen. I mean, we've been talking this whole entire time, all right, Tyrese Halliburton, what kind of player do you want to be? Do you want to be a superstar, or do you want to be the kind of guy that's just going to be passing offense, kind of going through the motions and then turn it on? He had a really slow start in the first, but then from the second on, he turned it on. He was everywhere. He was passing the ball, making assists, making points, making those three-pointers. He was being that guy that you needed him to be, but I'm surprised we've gone this far and we haven't talked about T.J. McConnell.
Oh, shout out to T.J. and I can give you some love.
Energy shifter.
Yes,
you ain't kidding.
I can definitely give you some love on that. So just some first half numbers because we all know the Pacers won 116-107. First half is where I really was looking I guess, deeply into how Carlisle was going to make adjustments coming off of that game, too. So the big thing he did, he trusted his bench. That was the big thing. He trusted T.J. McConnell. The Pacers bench, 30 of 64 points. The Thunder only had 11 bench points in the first half. First half, Halliburton, 12.7 assists. Siakam, my man that I was telling you about,
I was going to shout him out.
13 and 4. And also at the halftime, the Pacers were winning the turnover battle. So everything was pointing in the right direction. So you got 2 quarters down, and you got the Pacers basically implementing their wheel. They were able to play their style of game without allowing OKC to kind of counter. I don't know how to play chess, so if you tell me checkmate, all I know is I think I can't move anymore.
I think you lost.
I think I lost. Yeah, I know I lost, but I don't think I can move anymore or anything like that. I think last night was a checkmate piece in the fact that Carlisle remembered that his bench, from a talent standpoint, can match up with OKC man-to-man.
Yeah.
I honestly believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the stats from halftime that Indiana's bench had 30 points, whereas OKC's just had 11. And that was incredible. It showed the depth of what you're doing. And you thought going in early that Indiana was in trouble because OKC was getting a lot of whistles. I think Chet Holmgren was at the line.
Man, Chet.
I mean, he was at the line just about every 30 seconds getting free throws. You had 3 guys in foul trouble early in the game for Indiana, but it didn't seem to faze them at all. They played their style of play. They played to the very end. They didn't let off. And, man, like, T.J. McConnell, I mean, he was just he's running all over the court. I was telling Miss Margaret, he was playing like he was playing like he had something to prove, and then he proved it and then some. Like that dude was flying. He was that kind of dude where it's like, I don't care what you do, just give me 110%. Dude, he gave you 210% last night.
And that first quarter, back to what you're saying, the first quarter, 32-24. OKC won it convincingly. If you're doing boxing, I think that was what, a 10-9, or is it 9-8?
10-8.
It's 10-8. I wouldn't give him 2 points. I would only give him 1. Okay, so I think 10-9 is where I would go if we're speaking in boxing terms. But Chet, you got back to it. He played a huge role. 13 points, 4 rebounds in the first quarter. And that man, the torture chamber. Lou Dort having 3 threes in the first quarter. I don't know where this comes from. Every now and again, he'll give you that. Mm-hmm. He's a talented guy. Obviously, way more known for his defense than he is his offense. But for whatever reason, Lou Dort decided to show up in the first quarter. The rest of the game, you could tell he was there, but he didn't have the impact that he did in the first quarter. Second quarter, beginning of the second quarter, quick 4-0 run to start the second quarter, and then Chet goes to the line. I thought that was huge because it kind of stopped whatever momentum they were trying to attain. You saw the Pacers just really pushing the ball. And once Chet got to the line that first time, I think it was maybe at the 9 or 10 minute mark. It was really early in the second quarter. It gave him an opportunity to kind of slow the ball down, take the air out of the ball just a little bit. Mm-hmm. But the Pacers weren't having it last night. Like you said, T.J. McConnell, he wasn't having it last night. No. We're going to give flowers today, people, to Ben Mathurin. Ben Mathurin, I affectionately call him one of my guys because I loved him coming out of Arizona a couple of years ago when we were doing grind time with myself and Peter and Anthony. I was really big on Ben Mathurin, and I got some really good numbers that we can get into later as far as him coming in off of the bench and just doing what he did. Just having a heck of a game. He's one of the younger players to ever hit at least 25 points in a finals game. I got a ton of great numbers on him, but
led the Pacers last night in points.
Want to give some flowers to Obi Toppin. There was was a moment in the game where he took over, and I took it down. My note says there was an Obi rebound. I think this was in the third quarter. Then he got a tip back dunk. And then on the other end, he got a block. I was like, this is the Obi Toppin game. Yeah. Like, this is the Obi Toppin game. Like, for whatever reason, his length, his ability to move his feet, the reason that he was a lottery pick, and some people question that, well, I think he was four or fifth, he showed that in that spurt yesterday. I said, that's the guy the Knicks were looking for. The Knicks could have used that Obi Toppin against the Pacers this year. But needless to say, I just love the total team effort. I thought Carlisle put in a good game plan of saying, hey, this is not all about Halliburton. This is not all about Siakam, in which I would have. So that's why I'm not a coach anymore. So I don't get through out of games. So I get through out of games. I think I would have leaned a lot more. I would have told Siakam, I need you to take 30 shots.
Yeah.
That wasn't Rick Carlisle's MO. Not last night. Last night it was each one, teach one, pass the ball. Let's get some movement, and let's tire down this SGA guy. Like, from where it go, they picked him up full court. Listening to Charles Barkley after the game, you kind of noticed, and if you had two eyes and you were looking at the game, you could see that SGA was tired.
He was big tired. He was not into it last night. That was not the SGA that we were used to seeing. That was not the SGA that we expect to see play. That was like game 2 Halliburton is what SGA played like last night.
That's a product of the Pacers picking up 94 feet all game.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. They shut him down from the get-go. And, you even saw it. It was later on in the game where Tyrese Halliburton just threw up a shot. I think it was a 3. And SGA just...
standing in the corner.
Yeah, he was just standing in the corner. And Tyrese Halliburton goes is flying to the ball. Like, he's flying all over the court. He's getting his own rebounds. He's chasing. Like, they had the fighting spirit last night, and OKC just didn't. They threw in the towel early, and you kind of just knew... You kind of knew as soon as they got to that 7-point run late in the fourth that OKC was just done.
A lot of playoff career highs on yesterday. One really good was Ben Mathurin, his 25 points, playoff career high. SGA also had a playoff career high. Do either one of you guys know?
What, blocks?
Nope.
Was it turnovers?
Mr. Yeah. Elijah, 6 playoff turnovers, his career high. So therefore, that gives a lot of credence to what you were saying about him having that Halliburton kind of poo-poo kind of game. But you go back to Miles Turner. Like I said, I have a ton of them. Miles Turner defense on Chet Holmgren at one point was Lou Alcindor-esque.
That's who I give my flowers to. Miles Turner. Although he shot 3 for 11, his defensive impact was ridiculous last night.
Yes, the double block. I'll call it the double block. He blocked, I believe, a jumper of Chet's. Chet gets the ball back and goes to the hole. Chet realized that there's other 7'2" guys in the NBA last night, and one was named Miles Turner. A lot of the times when Chet is killing people, they can't put a hand in his face. They can't get to his ball. Yesterday, Miles Turner did a really good job of seeing ball and attacking ball instead of giving Chet Holmgren that extra foot and a half he needs to get his shot off. So I thought the way Miles Turner was deployed on him, get up in his grill.
Yeah.
Stop. He's a 7-footer just like you. It's almost if you put a 6-footer on a 6-footer, give or take their wingspan or whatnot. I should be able to stop you from shooting the ball if we are the same height, same size, give or take. And I think last night a light bulb came on. Stop giving Chet open jumpers.
Yeah. Yeah, Chet was contested all night, and we were sitting there because Chet's 6'2", not to take anything away
7'2".
7'2", sorry,
yeah.
not 6'2".
Whole foot, yeah. Don't take a foot away.
Sorry, my bad. I left my ruler in my pocket. But Chet being 7'2", and not to take anything away from Miles being only 6'11", but you're that big of a guy. And you're not playing like that big guy like you're supposed to. I mean, Chet started the game off very well, and I think that was the big difference we saw. I think we saw OKC started the game really well. And to shout out to your guy, Pascal Siakam, I think he started the game off really well for the Pacers.
He was aggressive.
He was. And I think
not the most effective, but aggressive.
No. But he was around. He was making plays. He was where he needed to be, and I think he's the reason that he kept those guys in that game. Yeah. He kept those guys. He kept the Pacers in the game, leaving the first period or first quarter, and from then on, it was just like a switch had flipped. And OKC just seemed to be like, all right, well, we won first quarter. Does that mean we get to go home now? Did we win? Are they going to lay down? It's like OKC forgot who they're dealing with. I mean, we talked about it yesterday of the amount of comebacks that Indiana had. I mean, it was earlier in the game, but they just never seemed to relinquish control. They were fighting everywhere. They were flying everywhere. Just a dominant performance by Indiana.
So, like we said, 32-24 was the first quarter. And I'm bringing this up to piggyback on what you were just talking about as far as the relentlessness. Pacers outscored OKC 40-28 in the second half. I mean, the second quarter, rather. I think that stick-to-itiveness, if I could steal a word from my man Clark Kellogg from CBS, they never buckled. They never said, "Oh, the MVP is coming for us. Chet is making his shots. This team is more athletic than." There's the Dorcher chamber. Like all of these narratives around the OKC players never seemed to come to fruition last night. Like if you see Lou Dort out there, you're thinking, "Oh my God, don't want him holding me. I'm not going to score today." They weren't afraid yesterday. Like
no.
even my man Caruso, he got really clean steal off of Halliburton. I think in the second quarter. I mean, he ripped him something really good. But that's all I think he did the rest of the night. I mean, do you guys remember any Caruso highlights from yesterday?
I'm not going to give a lot of flowers to Caruso, but I feel of anybody on the OKC team that he was the one that was flying around the most.
Okay.
Second to Jalen Williams. Okay. J-Dubs last night was, for OKC, that was the J-Dubs game. He was all over the place. He was making shots. He was the one that was basically keeping OKC alive. And I think they really wanted to include SGA in that because you have that MVP. You have that dude who's averaging 30 points a game in his career, not just in the postseason, but in his career. And last night, I was shocked to find that SGA had, 24 points?
8 rebounds, 4 assists.
Yeah, I mean that's just not the kind of performance you expect to see from a guy like that. Now there is the thing where you could have an off night, but this is the NBA Finals, and if you want to have that superstar caliber, that's kind of what you expect a person like him to play each and every single night. That's what we were talking about with Tyrese Halliburton. Yeah. It's like, what kind of player do you want him to be? He was a little bit inconsistent, but now
what kind of player do you want to be? Yeah.
What kind of player do you want to be? But now you're getting into this place where, hey, you want that superstars title, and I think he really showed. I think he really showed out yesterday.
I want to pinpoint or highlight your man Caruso. Believe, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he have a 20-point game in Game 2? Right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, 20-point game in Game 2. Last night, 8 points. 5 rebounds, 4 assists in 32 minutes. Really curious to know what his plus minus was. Pretty sure he had one of the better ones on the team.
Actually, it was minus 15.
Was it? Minus 15. Where was that as far as the team? Did he have the best, worst?
Second worst, only to Cason Wallace, who was minus 19.
Second worst. Okay. So I guess that's to what I was saying. I understand you're saying he was flying around because at one point I think I did see him, tip a ball away or two. It was kind of kind of trying to rally the troops. Come on, guys, come on, doing that deal.
I think T.J. McConnell played like how we would expect Alex Caruso to be playing.
T.J., let me get to his stats. T.J., I don't think T.J., there he is, 10 points. You would have thought T.J. would have had a 30-piece last night.
The way he was playing and flying around, you would have thought so,
he'd had
too.
a 30-piece
yeah,
yesterday.
absolutely.
So T.J., 10 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists. But I think his greatest impact was just helping rally the bench in the first half.
5 big steals.
5 big steals. What'd you call him at the beginning of the show? You call him the
energy shifter.
Energy shifter.
Yes.
I gotta write that down, Elijah.
Energy shifter.
Elijah's great, man.
Yeah,
the energy shifter.
The backcourt steals that he had, where OKC was just lobbing some passes in from an inbounds play, and he's right there.
It's one thing to get one of those in a game, but 3 in an NBA Finals game, that's ridiculous.
Yes. It showed you how off OKC was. Like, it showed you how much they were not in that game. And the fact that they scored 107 last night, I think, was a miracle.
See, I'm doing Johnny how Johnny does me. That's why I love you, Landon. Reason being, I honestly think OKC lost that game last night, y'all.
They did.
Okay.
Can
we? Where are you at with that, Elijah? Do you think?
I think
the Pacers won it?
I think the Pacers played really, really well, but yeah, OKC did not play up to their standard. Like, I'm not going to be hyperbolic, but I really do think that second quarter by the Pacers was the best quarter a team has played in the playoffs against OKC this entire playoffs. They did not turn the ball over one time. They shifted the energy of the game, and they rode that momentum the rest of the way.
And that's where I was coming from as far as my next point. That's what I'm going to ask Isaac. Where did OKC lose? I wholeheartedly believe that the Pacers were going to win. I was a Pacer guy last night. I took the +5, 100% Pacers. But when you are the juggernaut that OKC has been all year, we can't say it was a fluke. This is the final. Like, there isn't another series. If they win this series, they put the cherry on top of everything they've did all season. So from that standpoint, I'm giving them the respect of, you're the best this year. You're not the champions yet, but you guys were clearly the best this year. I think they lost that game yesterday. And there's an 80% chance that they lost the series. Right?
80% chance.
80% chance they lost the series, right?
From the statistics.
Yeah, from the statistics. So, but other than that, man, we got a lot of stuff to get into today. We got a little WNBA action we'll get into. We got my man Landon following the PGA, from what? How long you been on this? 5 hours.
Sheesh.
He took a challenge from one of his mentors or something.
I was about to say, where did this come from? Is this just out of your own accord?
No. So yesterday, Brett made on Sports Time. Brett made a funny comment. He was like, "It gets started at 5:30. Anybody live tweeting it?" And so, me being me, I was like, "Yeah, I'll take a crack at it, sure." And then Brian goes, "Yeah, okay, sure, man.
Elijah, this man's been up since 4:30.
That's dedication right there. I respect that.
Not only is it dedication, I mean, the cut hadn't even been made. He's live tweeting guys that ain't gonna be there Saturday or Sunday. So.
I've been keeping it reasonable. It's
built different.
It's been a lot of Bryson. It's been a lot of Rory. It's been a lot of Xander. It's been the big guys.
Give me some John Rahm and I'll follow you more.
Well, I don't think John Rahm has started yet.
12-14, I believe.
So
Schefter's at 12-25, Rum's at 12-14, I believe. But
can we expect this all 4 days from you?
Come on, give him some work, Elijah. That's what I'm talking about. Sure. Answer the man. Don't look at me. Answer the man.
This is a commitment you're making, so you
I
better
didn't
watch
agree
what
to
you
it
say.
for
PGA Lance?
long term.
Can we call him PGA Lance?
Yeah, I got to change my Twitter handle.
You got to change the Twitter handle to PGA Lance this weekend, by all means.
PGA Lance, all right.
He's gonna try. He's gonna attempt it. Don't look. I wouldn't.
Look. I wouldn't
bet him.
I wouldn't anticipate.
There's a 20% chance that he does it like that.
You can go take the finals with the 80% chance. There's 20% chances coming that I will not be waking up as early as I did today. But
I don't blame you, brother.
I'll still be live tweeting some updates if I see something fantastic like I did not too long ago with what was his name, Beck's little chip in the rough into the
follow my man.
Chip out of the rough.
He will
right
be
into
your,
the hole.
Your PGA man.
And he made a birdie. Now he's +10 for the day. How about that?
Oh, man. But on today's show, we have the man, the myth, the legend. I can't call everybody the man, myth, legend, right?
You called Dustin that.
I think I called Dustin. I can't call Isaac that. We have
Isaac,
NBA Isaac coming on
the legend,
next.
the man, the myth.
The legend, the man, the myth. We'll change it up a little bit. We have Isaac Simpson joining us later. And then we have down at the Grove, the founder of the Rebel Walk, we'll have Ole Miss Evie Van Pelt will join us later on, and Elijah. After then, we'll have Landon's best portion of the show. Do you know his favorite portion of the happy hour with Johnny Radio?
No, but I'm really excited now.
Hardwood.
We're getting into some hardwood stories,
He
baby.
just loves saying, let's get into some wood on the radio, I believe. But
that's Johnny. I just say, let's go to
let's just get
hardwood.
into some wood. But needless to say, we're in the
Because it feels so good.
There you go. Feels so dadgum good. You got to give him the real Johnny. But we're in the Sissies. We're in the Family Leisure Studios. So you can hit us up. So a couple of you guys have already done so on the Sissies text and listener line 901-360-8255. We'll get through some of those throughout the day, but other than that, it's a lot of Elijah, a lot of Landon, a lot of Darian right now, and we'll get to a break as of right now. On the other side, we'll get to our man Isaac Simpson on Happy Hour, Sports 56 98.5.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time for fun, family, and fabulous prizes at the 67th Annual St. Louis Hole-in-One Charity Festival, Sunday through Saturday, June 15th through 21st. Golfers can win cash and prizes every night, along with the chance to win $25,000 for the City Auto Vehicle purchase select nights. Then a chance to win $1 million the final night. Plus, there are cornhole tournaments every night with cash and prizes. Friday and Saturday nights, there are kids' carnival rides and 2 to 4 Saturday children's golf. So golfers, grab your clubs. Cornholers, practice your aim. Families, bring the kids. Memphis, there's something for everyone. You're invited to the biggest party of the year at St. Louis Church, 203 South White Station Road. The 67th Annual St. Louis Hole-in-One Charity Festival, Sunday through Saturday, June 15th through the 21st. Fun, family, and fabulous prizes all week as you help raise funds supporting youth programs at St. Louis Church.
The very last thing anyone wants is to burden their family after passing. That's why having a trust or a will is essential. It ensures your loved ones, your spouse, children, or anyone you care about clearly understand your wishes and don't have to deal with confusion, drama, or legal hassles while grieving. Without a will, your assets could be distributed in ways you never intended. People you care about could be left out completely. Also, probate can be a long, complicated, expensive process. And it's avoidable if you have a simple trust in place. A trust or a will sets a clear plan for how you want your estate handled. They're simple, affordable, give you peace of mind. I have a simple, revocable trust, and knowing my family won't have to go through probate brings real comfort. Trustandwill.com. They make it easy. They're the leaders in creating personalized trusts and wills to protect your legacy and loved ones. Do the right thing. Protect your family. Visit trustandwill.com today for total peace of mind.
Pools, and more pools. Yes, it is pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure is already booking pool installs, so you need to buy now and get on that list. 24-foot pools start at $19.99 install. Liners are starting at $2.99. You're going to need some pool accessories, so they're all up to 20% off. Not quite ready for a pool? That's fine. Get a 5 or 6 person hot tub starting at under $7,000. You can also go for a swim spa or perhaps a cold plunge tub. Those are now $2,000 off. Get patio furniture up to 50% off on select sets. Buy your pool now. Get on that install list. Mention this commercial, and your install is free. It's underlined in the in-bold print, so you know it's big. It's pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
One thing Bell Tavern can say with confidence is that you won't find a better selection of bourbon, whiskey, and scotch anywhere else in Memphis. Maybe anywhere. With signature cocktails like the 3 Whiskey Old Fashioned, the Barrel Aged Manhattan, and the Spicy Margarita, paired with the whiskey flights like the Tennessee Bourbon Flight and the Maker's Mark Flight. There are more amazing drink options at Bell Tavern than you could possibly work your way through in one visit. In fact, it would take many, many visits to Bell Tavern to even make a dent in the extensive selection. Grab an Uber and head to Bell Tavern.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
All the wisdom of the universe is in the explorer.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to Happy Hour on Sports 56. You are live with Darian, Elijah, and Landon. Hopefully you are doing good. There you go. He ain't gonna leave me hanging, y'all. You know we got the remnants of Johnny still in this room. So
Johnny Jr.? Nah, yeah. I'm not gonna live up to that.
Johnny's living his best life right now, guys. So you're stuck with us today. So hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you got a little Tito's going on, right?
Oh, maybe you got a little Tito's. You know what you got to do, Elisha, if life hands you lemons?
You know?
You know what you got to do?
Finish the sentence for me.
When life gives you lemons, don't fret, don't freak out, don't you worry. Just make a lemon drop. Just make sure it's with the best. That's Tito's handmade vodka, 6 times distilled.
You found out how many times distilled.
I listened to the ad. I listened to the ad. 6 times distilled right from the heart of Texas. It's the most American-made thing you can possibly drink. No matter what it is you're drinking, just make sure it's with Tito's handmade vodka.
No frills, right?
That's smooth right there.
No frills.
I mean, Johnny couldn't have done it better himself, man. So
you like sweet tea? You like lemons? Go ahead and make yourself a little John Daly. Make sure it's with Tito's, baby.
Look at that handmade vodka. How about you? Look at you putting in work, knowing you had a show to do today. How about
Live
that, man?
tweeting golf since 5:30 a.m.
This guy's been on his grind.
Yeah, he's been on his grind. He has, but oh man, in a sec we'll have our main man NBA. Oh man, Isaac Simpson. He'll set us straight about what we saw last night. We got some good questions for Isaac, and he's way smarter than us when you're dealing with this NBA thing. And hopefully he'll break it down and let us know, give us some answers to some of our questions, as well as let us know what he saw firsthand from his perspective. But last night, 116-107. We all know the Pacers. Pretty much, what do you call it? The Yesers. I saw that. The Yesers. The Yesers kind of owned everything they surveyed yesterday. So other than that, I mean, we can go ahead. Let's bring Isaac on. Isaac, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Man, I'm good, man. What's going on, guys? Right, Johnny on vacation?
Man, Johnny on vacation.
Drinking some Tito's right now.
He left us and didn't even take us.
You know it.
Terrible boss.
Like I told Lenny, when Popeye's away, you know the kids will play. But right now, we're going to handle some real business right now. So last night, everyone knows what happened. We saw the 116-107, but we've been patiently waiting so you can break this down and tell us what you saw. So my first question, before I let Landon get hold to you, did the Pacers win this game, or did OKC lose it? I said OKC lost it, but by all means, set us right.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I kind of talked with Johnny about this before this series started. The type of games that it would take for Indiana to win, I think the lower the score, the better for the Pacers. If you look at Game 1, I think the Thunder scored 110, and last night they only scored 107. In the game that they won, Game 2, they scored 123 points. I think if the score gets higher, I think it's better for the OKC Thunder. When you notice the games they lose, it's usually games where they score below kind of 120. They're kind of, if it's in that 110, 105 range, something like that, they usually don't fare too well. And last night, I mean, you look at the numbers. I mean, the numbers look good, but say 24 points, you would usually say, oh man, that's a great game, but that's a kind of a bad game for him because you're looking for 30, 35 out of him on most nights. So anytime you can hold SGA to 24 points, you're doing a pretty good job. But they had a couple other guys that Jalen Williams, 26 points, made 20 and 10 for Chet. Didn't get a whole lot off the bench. We had 4 points for Hartenstein. I think Caruso had 8 points, 6 from Joe Ingles. But yeah, man, I think that pace last night was just better for Indiana. I kind of thought coming out of that game too, I was like, man, I think the Thunder are just going to roll. I wouldn't be surprised if they won in 5. But I still think, okay, even though Indiana's up 2-1, I wouldn't feel comfortable at all if I'm them. I think OKC lost all game 3s except one in his playoff run, so that's kind of been a thing for them. I think they bounce back on tomorrow night, and I think they tie this thing up. And I think if they tie it up going back to OKC, I think we could see something similar, kind of what we saw in the Denver series. I just think this team doesn't lose multiple games in a row, hardly ever. I mean, that's something that you don't see from this team. They've been great. Coach Daynault has been great at getting this team prepared and bouncing back from losses. I think we're going to see the same thing here. I just think it's just ebbs and flows in series, but I definitely think they're going to respond in Game 4.
So OKC has lost 4 of 6 on the road. And just by listening to you, we were talking about this earlier, how the winner of Game 3 of the finals goes on to win the title 80% of the time. Sounds like you are not subscribing to that yet, right?
I mean, no. I still think OKC is the better team. I mean, Indiana is just, they've been on a magical run, man. Sometimes you get momentum, but I think you, looking back at when this playoff started, I don't think anybody saw the Pacers in the finals. I mean, I think you looked at the East, obviously had Cleveland there at the top. They were supremely disappointing. Obviously, Boston, I think even New York, people probably would have had over Indiana. So it's been special what they've been able to do, and they have a lot of momentum. Those guys play hard. Rick Carlisle has those guys playing fantastic basketball, so they're not going to quit. But I just think in the end, the talent is going to win out. And I think overall, especially when you look at the depth of this OKC team, I think they're going to walk them down. I think they're going to win this series. A lot of people have been surprised at what OKC's been able to do, and it's just been kind of head-scratching to me because if you look at all the metrics, you look at the record, I mean, they've been the best team all year. I mean, they went 68-14. You don't just do that by mistake. This team is fantastic. SGA is a killer. I mean, this team, they've been the best team all year, man. And you look at number 1 in defensive efficiency, I think number 4 in offensive efficiency, only team in the NBA. They're in the top 4 in both. I mean, they are the best team. I mean, Indiana, again, is you got to knock them out, but I think they're going to end up getting that knockout eventually.
I think one of the most surprising stats for me last night was the total turnovers that OKC had. They had 19, and the Pacers ended up getting 21 points off of those turnovers. Last night, OKC didn't play like OKC. Do you think that was I mean, from what you've said so far, it seems like they were not playing to form. They weren't. They just looked tired. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Yeah. SGA he was not flying over the court. He seemed to be shut down early. He didn't seem to be in it like he normally is. How do you think OKC fights back? And going forward, I told Darian this, I foresee now that this series goes to Game 7 with OKC winning. So what does OKC just got to correct to get back on track and eventually win this thing?
Yeah, I'm with you. I initially said OKC in 6, but I do think now that they're up 2-1, I could definitely see it going 7. And I'm with you. Last night, they just, SGA, even though, I mean, 24 points, like you said, for a number 24 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, he only shot 6 free throws last night. I think, and that's another thing that I think most of the time he has higher free throw numbers than that. He wasn't really getting to the line the way he normally does last night. And I think part of that is, to your point, that he wasn't as aggressive as he usually is. He did seem like he was a little bit checked out last night. And I think as a team, I mean, if your leader, teams kind of follow their leader. Last night just felt like one of those games where I wouldn't necessarily say they played terribly, but they just weren't as locked in as they usually are. I think this loss is definitely going to wake them up and get them ready to go because, I mean, this is pretty much a must-win. They can't go down 3-1. No. And I really don't see this team. This team has been resilient all year long. I think they've only lost 2 in a row a couple times this year. So that's just something that you don't see from this team, and I don't think this is going to be any different. But, yeah, you definitely got to clean the turnovers up, because if you turn the ball over against this Pacers team, they're going to kill you. I mean, they thrive when they can get out and run and get ahead of the defense. That's something that we saw last night. They really capitalized off of those OKC turnovers, and that's something that I think you clean that up. And think about it, the Thunder, like I said, offensively, they just weren't as locked in last night. I think if these games get into 107 is not a number that you're going to see a lot from OKC. It's just like game one where they only scored 110. Game two, they scored 123 and they won the game easily. That's what you usually see from this team, and I don't think you're not going to consistently hold. I don't care how good you are defensively, which Pacers are really good, but you're not going to hold this team down until 107, 110 on most nights. They've been able to do it twice, but I think over the long haul, I think this OKC team, once they get going offensively, man, they're really hard to stop. They caught them twice, walked them down in game one, which was crazy. Because really, you should look at you can look at this series and say, OKC really should be up 2-1. I mean, they just absolutely blew game one. I mean, that's just no doubt about it. So I think that they've shown that they're the better team. I think Indiana beat them last night, and that was a real win. Not taking anything away from them, but I think if OKC can clear up some of these turnovers, man, and they're going to get those numbers back up to 115 plus scoring. I think that's when they're going to show that they're the better team, and I think that's what you're going to see. Definitely, I think you're going to see that in Game 4.
That sounds eerily similar to the Knicks.
It
sounded like he was talking about the Knicks series again. It's like, you know what? They should be up 2-1 on the Pacers, but so I want to jump into the post game. Yesterday, I did a lot of listening to post game afterwards, and I listened to my man Ben Matherin, and he said something that stood out to me, because if you played sports, you kind of understand where I'm coming from. If I call you, if we're on a basketball team and it's me, Isaac, Elijah, Landon, and Johnny, and I say, let's say Brett is our head coach, and I say Brett is the head of the snake, that doesn't necessarily take away anything from us players in the room. I think that gives more credence and more kudos to the coach. So what I'm saying is, I think Carlisle found something yesterday in playing the bench the way he did, with Matherin scoring career playoff high 25.
Yeah, 27. Yeah.
Oh, 27.
Yeah,
and then you had McConnell getting it in the way he did. Do you think he'll deploy, speaking of Carlisle, will he deploy his bench that way again, or was it kind of a one-off and he'll wait to see what adjustments that OKC makes, and then he'll make adjustments on top of that?
Well, for last night, I think the bench really kind of stepped up for some of the starters that have been playing well. Aaron Naismith with only 7 points last night. Andrew Nembhard only had 8 points. Those guys usually had been playing a lot better than they played last night, and they needed every bit of that from the bench last night. And Benedict Mathurin kind of stepped up kind of in that Naismith role. That's kind of what we had been seeing from Naismith, scoring those kind of numbers. So they kind of picked those guys up, and T.J. McConnell's just steady, always comes in, makes winning plays on both ends of the floor. And shout out to Obi Toppin, man. Obi has been making the entire playoffs, man. It's really, except late in that game last night, he was the one making plays on both ends, blocks.
Isaac, I got it right here. It was a rebound, a tip block. No, a rebound, a tip dunk, and then a block back on the other end.
Man, yeah, and he kind of shut it down for him, because it kind of looked like OKC might kind of creep back in, kind of the way that we seen Indiana do in some games. He said, no, man, that's not happening. We shutting this down, man. He made 3 or 4 plays in a row to slam that door in their face. So, I mean, yeah, man, I think that's a big part of why they were able to win that game, because Obi Toppin was kind of the closer, and get 27 points up from Ben Matherin. I think, and T.J. McConnell's just been steady the entire time, the entire playoffs. He's always a guy that can come in and make plays for you on both ends of the floor. And again, man, they needed that, because again, Naismith didn't have his normal game last night, and neither did Andrew Nembhard. Both of those guys struggled a little bit. You also only got 9 points from Miles Turner. So the only starters that really played well last night were Hallie and Pascal Siakam. So they needed guys to step up. So you just never know how the games are going to go. Next game you might have Naismith back scoring 25 points, and you might not necessarily need that from guys like Matherin. So we'll see. But I think for last night, I think they needed that, because they had a couple of starters that were struggling a little bit.
And quickly before we wrap up, I know Landon has a good question for you. You brought up by the center for the Pacers, Miles Turner. We were discussing the way he played Chet. Did you see a difference? Because I thought I did. I thought he played closer to the vest on Chet, and I think that's the way he has to play him going forward, because Chet will shoot you and can shoot you out of a game. Do you think that was, was that something that Carlisle may have implemented, or why did they play Chet differently? I just noticed that they played him differently yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was probably by design. And I think that's definitely how he has a plan. Because I mean, if you don't, you got to get out to the perimeter, man. Because he will. I mean, he can knock down shots. He did last night, though. He was 0-6 from 3 last night. But he can knock down those shots. But I think going forward, I think that's how you have to play him. Even though he ended up doing big work inside, man, still ended up with 20 points, even though he wasn't shooting from the perimeter. So. But yeah, man, I think that matchup, and shout out to Miles, because Miles has been a guy that kind of like people talk about, some of the fans here in Memphis talk about Jaren, that he is soft at times, does rebound, and he's inconsistent, but he's been really good. I think that's one of the reasons why this Pacers team has been able to kind of do the damage that they've done in this playoffs. He's really stepped his game up. I mean, he didn't have the best game last night, but throughout the playoffs, he's been super consistent for this team. He's been playing defense. He's been rebounding. Better has been knocking down. I think he's shooting like something crazy, 45% from 3 in the playoffs. I mean, he's been fantastic. Last night was probably one of his worst games of the playoff run. But I think that's a key matchup in this series. And you had, like you said last night, you had Chet scoring 20 points and he only scored 9. I think that matchup has to be more even. You can't let Chet get 20 and 10. Going forward, and that's kind of surprising, man. You get Chet with 20 and 10, you get 26 from J-Dub. And you think that would kind of be a win for Oklahoma City, but I just think that SGA just didn't seem as locked in as he usually is. They weren't getting to the free throw line like he usually does, and I think that's just one of those games. But again, man, I think we're going to see this team bounce back and tie this thing up. And once it goes 2-2, man, you got to go back to OKC. I think OKC wins 2 in a row. They go up 3-2. We'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, so going back a little bit to what you said about how SGA wasn't really the leader of the OKC team like he normally is for OKC, I think last night that role fell to J-Dubs. I think he was the one that was really carrying OKC all night last night, and I don't think OKC is really used to that. I think they're used to SGA being that star player. I think you diagnosed it perfectly, where a 24, 25-point game for really any NBA player is really good, but not for SGA. He's already set that bar so high to where you expect him to get that 30, 35-point game out of him each and every single night. I mean, the dude's averaging 30 points a game in his career.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, that's just an unbelievable stat. But I'm glad you brought up Naismith, because yesterday, while Naismith didn't really have much going on the court, he did have one pretty
controversial
big play. Controversial play is a really good way to put it, and that's his foul on Alex Caruso. Now, to anybody who's just like a casual viewer of the NBA, is not deep into the rules and the know-how, I'm sitting here in my seat, and I'm questioning how, even after a review, his straight-up football tackle on Alex Caruso was not deemed a flagrant foul. I mean, the dude waited on Caruso to go up, just arched over like he was a Yeti or something, and just grabbed the man, yanked him to the floor, and then they review it, and they're like, yeah, it's a foul, but it's not flagrant. Can you break us down how that was not a flagrant foul?
Yeah, man, I was surprised as well, because they said there wasn't any wind-up. I was like, what are you watching? Like,
that's what I said.
Not a wind-up. Like, I think that they didn't call it a flagrant foul because they didn't want the game to possibly flip on that. They didn't want to call something that, or you get 2 free throws in the ball, and that could have really changed the game, because they
really
knocked down those 2 free throws, then they hit a 3. What's that, like a 1 or 2 point game at that point? And that could really flip the game. I had a feeling they were going to say it wasn't just because of that, but yeah, man, that was definitely. I heard them talking about it. It was that they had Steve Javy, I think.
Yeah.
They had him talking about. He said he didn't think it was. I'm like, I don't know what you're watching. He said it's a hard playoff foul.
Yeah,
man, that was in today's game. That was a flagrant one. I don't think there's any question, but I think they were kind of ticking out by not wanting to kind of change the game on that call that late. But yeah, man, he just took him out. Like I'm right there with you.
Well, the other thing that they were saying was, I can't remember the name of the female commentator, but she was saying that he made no play for the ball.
Well, the ref, I can tell you, the ref,
he wasn't
the
going
ref
for the
said
ball.
no wind-up, contact, and no follow-through.
They said no wind-up.
But you got to have 2 of the 3.
Yeah,
well, I don't see how they said there was no wind-up. There was definitely a wind-up.
Yeah, they said. Well,
he waited for him to get there.
Exactly. Well, and I was telling Darian, like, I've seen other games where a dude will just like come down after a rebound and his elbow will hit this guy's head. Maybe on accident, maybe not.
Yeah.
And they're quick to the whistle saying, "Oh, that's a flagrant. That dude,
Exactly.
Get him out of here. This is ridiculous." And then you see a straight up football tackle where this dude there was no shot he was going to block the shot. There was no shot he was going to get to the basketball. And it said tackles the man, and we don't call a flagrant there. I think you're right. There's always an angle. I think that definitely would have been a huge shift in the game last night if that was going to be called a flagrant. But man, to just sit there and see somebody straight up tackle, I'm surprised we didn't see that more often from both sides of the team. It would have been a straight up rugby fest or something.
Isaac, in honor of Johnny, we're gonna switch gears here just a moment and talk a little WNBA. We saw you tweeting big time WNBA, and my girl Nafisha Collier took her first loss last night. You know. Her in the league. So, what say you? What caught your eye last night?
Oh well, I'm a New York Liberty fan.
Okay.
So, and been ever since I'm a kid. I'm not a bandwagon. I was there through the bad times ever since I was a kid. Man, I've been a New York Liberty fan. But yeah, man, the Collier is fantastic. They did take their first loss to the Seattle Storm last night. Had a little dust up at the end of the game. Kayla McBride that plays for the Leafs, he was a little upset at Erica Wheeler that kind of scored there at the end of the game. So it kind of got a little chippy there at the end of the game, man. But yeah, man, to anybody out there, man, that's not following WNBA, man, I just give it a chance. Like I hear people say it's boring, it's not good basketball. It's just not true, man. If you give it a chance, I'm telling you, if you like basketball, man, you will like the WNBA, man. It's some talented young ladies out there, man. There's no question, and it's fun, man. It's really, really fun to watch, and especially I don't think there's ever been a time where it's been this much exciting. These young, exciting players in the league. I mean, it's just getting better and better, man. So check it out if you get an opportunity to.
Isaac, before we let you go, man, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, man, just on Twitter, man. Just super active on Twitter. You can find me at Isaac_NBA.
Yeah, I saw you trying to trade somebody on Twitter too. One of the WNBA ladies. I couldn't follow which one, but I saw trade. There we go. Dallas. I saw that.
Man, because she's just not a good fit next to Paige, man. And I think they need to build around Paige. And I don't think long term, because they both need the ball. Arike when she's hot, she's one of the best offensive players in the league. But when she's not, she doesn't realize that she's not, and she's still gonna put up 10, 15 threes a night, even if she's not hitting them. And that's just not. Paige is a super efficient, play the game the right way type of player, and she kind of dominates the ball in that. And it's just not a good fit, I think, long term with Arike. So I think if they're going to build around Paige, I don't think that's going to be the fit next to her.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Isaac, for joining us. Next week you'll have Johnny back so you can get back to the normal shenanigans. But I appreciate you getting us right and keeping us right today, buddy.
Man, definitely enjoyed talking to you guys, man, and we'll do it again next week.
All right. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Isaac.
All right. Coming up on the other side of the break, it's time to get out of here. We will have our girl, America's favorite co-founder of the Rebel Walk, Miss Evie Van Pelt. She'll join us on the other side. This is 98.5 Happy Hour with Landon, Darian, and Elijah.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Sports 56 and 95 FM.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Total membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day.
is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work in them by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right? Your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet piquilla peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finished with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes. Or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails, like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. We can't wait to serve you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Choates. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free green egg grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms, enjoy endless hot water, and slash your cooling costs this summer with a high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow-smoke barbecue on us. But hurry, this special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
96.6 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis with Brett Norsworthy and Brian Dacus. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 at 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. And once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to Happy Hour. You are listening to Darian and not Johnny. We got Landon in the house. We got Elijah in the house. We're just, like I say, when Papa's away, the boys will play. We're having a little fun. Mm-hmm. Nothing's better than getting schooled by the best. We just got schooled by the best, and Mr. Isaac Simpson breaking it down a little NBA action. And coming up, as Johnny says, we have the sweetest woman in the land breaking down a little Ole Miss talk, the founder of the Rebel War. We'll have Miss Evie Van Pelt in a second. But just to get to a text message or two, we were talking big about Pacers earlier. One of the texters sent in. Let's give Andrew Nembhard some love. He's been playing great defense on SGA this entire series. So what say you? That was your guy. You kind of brought it up, and I wanted to alley-oop that one up to you.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge contributor as to why SGA was kind of shut down. Elisha made the good point of they caught him full court. It was a full court press. It was full court. He was just shut down from the get-go. So absolutely, give some love to Andrew Nembhard.
Guys who know each other's games very well, playing on the Canadian national team, if you didn't know.
Yeah,
Nembhard and who?
And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Okay. Where is Dort? Dort from France?
He's from Canada as well.
He's from Canada. Okay, I thought so. Okay, so
that was Benedict Mathurin.
Mathurin, there you go. I knew it was another piece to it.
Well, with a name like Benedict, absolutely.
There we go.
What an absolute powerhouse of a name.
I mean,
Canada, huh?
And SGA can't feel any SGA can't feel any extra undue pressure. You just got through beating your cousin. You know, so after I beat my cousin, I think everybody else is fair game, right, guys? Like after I beat my cousin, I have no problem beating down Landon after I beat my cousin down, right? So okay, all right, good deal.
That's fair.
All right, let's switch gears. It's time to get down to the Magnolia State where I live. None of you guys live in the Magnolia State, so I am super, super, super duper proud to bring on the founder of the Rebel Walk, Miss Evie Van Pelt. Hello, Evie. How do you do?
I do great. Getting a lot of rain here today where I am, and just excited about that.
Well, I don't know where Johnny is, but I think he's getting sunshine instead of rain right now. He's probably somewhere, doing his Tito's thing right now. So.
Oh, I bet he is, and he's enjoying every minute of it. And I don't think he's listening to us.
I don't know. I don't know. He tried to reel us in last night. We were in a little group text message between me, him, and Landon yesterday. He's like, "Hey guys," no trouble. There was nothing but kudos and high fives.
It may be in bits and pieces. If we're being honest.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Okay, Evie. So we were on the Twitter, the X, and we see the Rebel Walk had some pretty good news. A tweet about an hour ago, and we want you to kind of tell us about how we got here. And the Ole Miss star Walter Nolan signing a 4-year deal with the Cardinals?
Yes. Go Big Walk, go. He signed a 4-year, $19.3 million contract with the Cardinals. And what I thought was funny, it's interesting. So before he got to Ole Miss, he was at A&M before he transferred to Oxford. And Kyler Murray used to be at A&M, if you'll recall, before he transferred out. So I just thought it was kind of funny to hear him. Kyler was quoted as saying, because Walter was picked the number 16 overall pick in the first round, and Kyler Murray said he was a no-brainer type of guy. For him to fall to 16, I don't know how that happened.
Did they cross paths at A&M, cool. Evie? They didn't cross paths there, did they?
No, they did not cross paths at A&M, but I did think that was kind of interesting, one former Aggie to another former Aggie. But, I think Arizona is really excited about getting Walter, and I think that their general manager said something to the effect of, we want to have a more disruptive defensive unit, and when we find players that can affect the middle of the pocket, it puts a lot of stress on the offense, and Walter's another guy who can help us do that, and boy, can he. We saw that last season.
Absolutely. 16th overall pick in April's draft. Looks like he got a pretty hefty signing bonus, so definitely congrats to him.
Yeah, really excited for him. $10.7 million signing bonus.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. So he and Jackson Dart are doing pretty well.
And in the same vein of staying with the pigskin, we saw that you guys also had another tweet a little over 15 hours ago. Jamarcus Pittman.
Yes.
Got a 4-star coming down there?
Yeah, and I think that's I'll tell you what, the Rebels are, they're known obviously for Lane Kiffin doing so well in the transfer portal, but they're to the point now where I think that they can, obviously they're going to still play in the portal, but they're looking at some of the talented high school kids, and he's a 4-star defensive lineman. And, the crazy thing about that, he's actually from Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering, and he is right now the number 2 defensive lineman in the nation.
Wow.
Now, why, if you're the number 2 DL in the nation, you're not a 5-star? I don't know. I don't understand those rankings.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. The number 2 one in the nation for his class, and the number 3 overall athlete in the state of Tennessee at any position. So, big 6'5", 300-pound defensive lineman. And I tell you what, the combination of defensive line coach Randall Joyner at Ole Miss, and then of course defensive coordinator Pete Golding, that's a pretty powerful duo, I think.
Oh,
so,
absolutely. I'd 100% agree with you. And especially with today's day and age of defensive and offensive linemen alike, of how they can be that size, 6'5", 300-plus pounds, and how they can move. How they are they're fast and they're quick and they're moving off the ball. I mean, my father would tell me all the time back in the day, like, the big men were big men, and that's exactly what they did. They weren't fast. You didn't see them chasing down running backs or anything like that. So I think that is a huge pickup for Ole Miss, and especially what you were saying about the coordinators. I think that's going to be a scary defense for Ole Miss coming up this fall.
I think so, and Lane has commented on, the importance of the continuity of the staff, and they've had the same staff now for several years. They haven't lost any coordinators or anything, and so Lane just said that's a big deal, that people, underestimate how important that is. So that's been good. There's going to be an announcement, I believe, at 5 o'clock today in New Albany, Mississippi. Emmanuel Tucker, a big offensive tackle from New Albany, is going to announce where he's going. It's down to Ole Miss and LSU. And if you'll recall, I think he was the only 4-star that had been committed to Mississippi State, and he decommitted on June 2nd. And so that's going to be a big one. Top 2026 recruit. So. That'll be at 5 o'clock, and we'll have something out about that.
Evie Pittman, when you were talking about Jamarcus, you said he was out of Tennessee, correct?
Yes.
Where's he from?
Like I say, he goes to Memphis. I think he's from Memphis. I mean, I know he goes to the Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering.
That's Mace. Okay, yeah, that's Mace.
Yeah, Mace.
Okay, that's Mace.
Yeah. So, man, he really. That's impressive. I mean, he's got, if you look at his offer sheet, I mean, and it's only going to get bigger because, let's face it, just because you've committed now doesn't mean somebody's not going to come in and, try and throw a big bag your way. And we'll see that, yeah, he's got a lot of offers.
Mace is coming off a pretty big year. They won the state championship last year, and it's a science academy. So that's one of the bigger takeaways when we were putting it on television, because I work in television as well. It was like the science, education school has won a football state championship, and it was like, what?
I mean, those are some smart boys, I guess. I mean, they know. Yeah, they know what to do, but we interviewed him, and he really liked Coach Joyner. He excels at crafting, the defensive linemen. We've had, a ton of ones. We had last season when Ole Miss had Princely Umanmielen come in from Florida, one of the things he talked about was just the training. And I'm not trying to disparage his former school, but he said it's like everything opened up to him, and he understood what he was doing and why he was supposed to do it and when he was supposed to do it, and he didn't feel like he had that before. So I think that's Joyner is a really big deal. In fact, Jamarcus Pittman said he was the biggest factor. So Rebels need to hang on. Lane needs to hang on to Randall Joyner.
Yeah, absolutely. That is it sounded like clear skies ahead for Ole Miss Rebel football with a pickup like that. Shifting gears just a little bit, to quote a good man I know named Johnny. Shifting gears just a little bit. I know that it hasn't been long since Ole Miss's baseball season came to an end in heartbreaking fashion. I know. I don't want to dwell on that too long because you released an article yesterday about the one ray of sunshine that came from it, and that was Ole Miss pitcher Hunter Elliott named 2025 Division I All-American team.
Yes, and you know what folks don't realize, I think they just assume, Riley Maddox and Mason Nichols can't come back, but Hunter actually could. So
just a redshirt junior. He has another year in him.
Yeah, 2 years actually.
Oh, yeah.
And because, he played his first season was that 2022 national championship season, and then he missed out, 2023 and 2024 because of injury. So this was really just his second season playing this last season, and I thought he got better as the season went on. I thought he just got better and better and better, and I think he was 10-3 this season. Definitely should have earned All-America honors. So glad to see that. And really, I think it's like with a lot of these guys, I think it comes down to where they're projected, their draft slot is. And, if it's above this, it would be hard to kind of match the money. But if it's lower than this, then perhaps, there's a shot. So I would love to see him come back. I mean, I think he fires them up, even in that final game, which I don't know if you watched that final game against Murray State. Go Racers, actually. I'm a Murray State fan now. Glad to see they eliminated Duke and are headed to Omaha. But Ole Miss put Hunter in the latter part of the game, and I almost, not to question Bianco, but I almost think I would have started with him if I was going to put him in. I'd have him on a pitch count, and just because I think he gets everybody fired up, and they wouldn't have given up runs early, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, especially with an ERA of 2.94. I mean, that's incredible to have a pitcher like that is that consistent with that low of an ERA, and I believe it was something like 102 strikeouts on the year. I mean, that's a really impressive feat for any pitcher, especially in D1 baseball.
Yeah, I think he just, in our article that we have out, he is now just the fourth pitcher in school history to have 100-plus strikeouts in 2 different seasons. Wow. And, there have been some pretty elite pitchers that have come through there, so that's a really big deal. He picked off 13 base runners, also a record in the modern era of baseball. And I mean, man, he has got, if you hadn't seen it, he's a lefty, and he's got a pickoff move that's just phenomenal. It's fun to watch. So I really, we'll be following him either way, but I would love to see him back in Oxford. And speaking of former greats, Tim Elko, got called up by the White Sox, got sent back down to Charlotte, and he got called back up again and is playing with them, and they are playing the Astros this weekend. The series is tied 1 game apiece, and I have tickets to go tonight to see that. So I'm excited and hope I can bring Elko a little luck. Not that he needs it, but...
Well, that's going to be awesome. Miss Evie, I was really, really curious because I believe it was last week that we had a huge announcement for college sports, and that was the House versus NCAA ruling. And I wanted to get your thoughts about it because I think there's still a lot up in the air about this ruling and about what this means for the future of college sports. I know the verdict was a $2.8 billion settlement. that is now going to be dispersed between the schools to where the schools are now directly going to be able to pay their players. How does this change the landscape of college sports going forward?
I mean, I have so many questions.
I feel like a lot of people do.
I mean, so schools can now share up to $20.5 million annually with their student athletes starting July 1. And I think there's already a lawsuit out, Title IX lawsuit, because I think some of the female sports are like, wait a minute, they're not going to be getting perhaps as much of that revenue share as they believe they should. I tell you, my big question is, okay, so now if you want an athlete to get paid for NIL, you got to go through the Deloitte clearinghouse, NIL Go, for anything over $600.
Yeah.
And they're going to decide whether that's legit or not, whoever this person committee is at Deloitte. And, I mean, come on, guys. The first time somebody is denied, there's going to be a lawsuit.
Yeah.
I mean, when this person at Deloitte or committee says, no, sorry, I think that's too much. You shouldn't get X million for this, then they're going to get sued. I mean, the lawyers, I think I read something the other day, have already made, almost $500 million in this whole thing. So, I honestly have more questions than I have answers.
Yeah. Well, I think with something like this, I feel like there's still just so much left up in the air, and I think you alluded to it very well, of the fact that there's a lot of schools out there that, with the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, that their primary dominating sports are obviously going to be football and a little bit of basketball as well.
Basketball.
And so obviously a lot of the money is more than likely going to be poured into there. So it is this huge question of, well, what does that mean for all the other collegiate sports that all of these kids are partaking in? Like, what kind of funding are they going to be getting? How much is NIL still going to play an impact in all of these kids' lives and in all of these sports? So, and especially with conferences like, you've got the Big East, that's just primarily basketball, where they're going to be able to just pour in all the money that they want to into the basketball program. Do you think with this new ruling that we're now going to be shifting towards more powerhouse schools rather than an even playing field, whereas before, like about 5 or so years ago, where you would have an upset alert with teams going in tournaments and stuff like that, and you would look forward to those kind of things? It seems like those days are done. What do you think?
I completely agree with you. I think that you're definitely right. We're going to see that. We're going to see that shift, with the basketball schools, and so that may make the basketball landscape different. That lawsuit, I was alluding to, 8 female athletes filed an appeal Wednesday of that lawsuit, saying women won't receive their fair share of the $2.7 billion in back pay. So, and those athletes, I think, female athletes, were in soccer, volleyball, and track, and so we've got that. But yeah, I think it's going to be different. And I think about Murray State in baseball. I don't know if you saw, there was a picture on Twitter of their stadium that holds 800 people is what it holds. And the outfield wall was just, the padding was all ripped and torn. Like, it made me sad. It makes me, again, go Murray State.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, the SEC and the Big Ten are absolutely going to be spending that $20.5 million, whatever. But what is going to happen at the other schools? Because everybody can't afford that.
Yeah.
So,
I think the big question that I have from all of this, and I'm really curious to get your answer on it, is would you say that this modern era of college sports is better than it was when all of this NIL stuff started?
I don't think it's better. Just simply because, like I say, right now there's so many questions, so much room for, back in the day you had under the table, transactions
Right,
and bagmen and that whole thing.
Well,
so I don't want to go back to that.
maybe.
Yeah, allegedly.
Right.
I don't want to go back to that, but I think the way the system is structured right now, I think it's just going to be so many disparate amounts of monies at schools. And again, I'm really curious about this NIL Go. Anything over $600? I mean, that's nothing for a lot of these guys and what they're getting. Anything over 600 has to go to this person at Deloitte. And how quickly are they going to approve that? Like if everything, I mean, I don't know. It's all, but I'm not a big fan of the NCAA. I wouldn't mind if the SEC, yeah, I wouldn't mind if the SEC and the Big Ten said, see you later. And did their own thing. And I'm confused. Now there's a college sports commission, which is this new regulatory body that's going to oversee the enforcement of the third-party NIL deals and revenue sharing. And I'm just, commissions. I'm not real high on commissions either. It's only saving grace right now is it's independent of the NCAA. So I guess that's good, but. Man, what a time!
All right, Evie. This before we get you out of here, we'll drop a couple more and get your great critiques on these. I want to move to Hottie Toddy Hoops. Looks like the basketball team has gone up north to Ohio and Illinois to get 2 players. One looks like he's possibly out of the transfer portal, AJ Storr.
Yes.
As well as my man Nick Bundelow. So. Inform us, what can we expect from these guys?
Well, AJ Storr is from Kansas. He's a very versatile wing. He adds athleticism and shot-making ability. Nico Bundelow is a freshman. He had been committed elsewhere, flipped the last minute. Ole Miss, it's funny. Chris Beard had a press conference earlier this week, a media op, and now Ole Miss brought in 8 transfers from programs across the SEC Power 4 and even from internationally. They got Ilias Kemmerdine, who is appeared in 55 games for a team in France. But, what Beard talked about was they want obviously talented guys. Everybody does. But he talked about guys, we want guys who love the game, love to compete, and who have already proven they can win. And he said talent is non-negotiable in this league, but equally important is the character and competitiveness that it takes to win close games. So he talked about that. He said they watched every single game of every one of these transfers, and that's what they want to know. How is this guy going to play with a minute and a half left in the game? What's he going to do, and what's his character like? So it was really interesting that this revamped roster has over 550 combined college games of experience. So that's a pretty big deal. I just think that, again, and he talks about it, the main thing will be you've got all these guys coming in, transfer from LSU, Travis Perry from Kentucky, Corin Johnson, James Scott from Louisville, and on. And the main thing is going to be, how do these guys gel with one another and how quickly can they do that? Because I think we saw that last year this past season with Ole Miss men's basketball. I mean, it takes just a minute to kind of, everybody to figure out their role and work together. And then, they made it to the Sweet 16 for just the second time in school history. But I'm excited about it. I mean, I'm excited about what Beard. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, exactly.
Rich get richer.
Yeah. Rich get richer. That's right.
Before we let you out of here, as I peruse through the great Rebel Walk on the X and the Twitter, see some great news or some bad news, depending on how you want to look at it. But the 2025 season tickets for the football team is sold out.
Sold out. Isn't that something? So I think people are excited about Ole Miss football. I think as long as you have Lane Kiffin, that's the Lane Kiffin effect. When people ask me that, it's it's Lane Kiffin, not just his teams. They've won 10 games 3 out of the last 4 years. Obviously, that's a really big deal. But I just think that Lane is exciting. You know, he has an exciting brand of football. This is not, as my husband David would say, who played quarterback at A&M.
Yep.
We ain't running the wishbone here, you know, because nobody wants to go watch the wishbone.
Well, I think when you can go with one name only, that's when you know you've made it. It's kind of like going by Elijah or Landon. You know, these guys have one names like Lane. So these guys
like Lane. That's exactly right. And you know, I just think his social media presence. I mean, Lane is funny, and Lane trolls people, and Lane takes, you know, he laughs when, you know, somebody's trying to get a jab at him. You know, he may quote tweet him and make a little crying face or something. I mean, he's enjoyable to watch on social media.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Evie. You got anything else left? All good?
No, just let the people know where they can find more about Ole Miss Evie.
There you go.
Oh, well, they can go to therebelwalk.com, and they can also, we're everywhere probably that they would be. We're at the Rebel Walk on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel, The Rebel Walk. And I would love it if they would follow me at Ole Miss Evie. I would be excited, and I follow back.
Awesome. Well, Miss Evie, thank you so much for talking with us today. I know it's a little bit more calm on the other side of the water without Johnny here, but we appreciate you. We appreciate you joining us and talking with us, and we hope you have a blessed day.
Oh, well, thank you all so much for having me. Y'all are doing a great job, and I really appreciate you letting me come on.
Make sure you tell our boss that.
I will. I message with him pretty frequently, so I will do that. Absolutely.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, goodness. All right. There's nothing much left. We got about 30 minutes left. We got
30 minutes.
We got Landon's favorite portion of the show
coming up. Get into some hardwood. It's going to be a lot of fun today. One real quick thing I did want to talk about, though. I want to get in a little bit of NFL talk.
Get it off your chest, dog.
I want to get a little bit of NFL talk going in right now because ESPN released an article not too long ago about the season's coming up. The most important position is always something you're going to have a question about, and that's the quarterback. And a lot of these teams had different questions about how is my quarterback going to perform? What are we going to do? I think the biggest one out there right now, I don't know if either one of you guys are Atlanta Falcon fans are keeping up with the Atlanta Falcons.
That was my sleeper team last year.
So. Your sleeper team right now?
Well, last year.
I think the big question right now is what do we do going forward? You paid Kirk O'Chains a lot of money to be your quarterback.
That's easy. I can answer that for you.
And then you've got this dude, Michael Penix Jr., coming up at the helm. And I think a lot of people's reservations about Michael Penix is, well, you know,
injuries.
He's old. He's old for just starting out in the NFL. Yeah. And last year he went 3 for 3 TDs, 3 interceptions. But if you go back and you look at his 3 interceptions, I believe he only had 1. The first one you saw, he threw a dime to what was his name? Kyle Pitts, the tight end, and he catches it and turns around and basically just tosses the ball to the defender, gets an interception. Unfortunately, that falls on Michael Penix Jr. The second one, I believe, was against the Washington Commanders. It was just a bad judgment call. I think his receiver ran the wrong route, and he threw into triple coverage. Understandable. And then the next one was also a pop-up. So going forward, are you rocking with Kirk Cousins, or are you saying give the reins over to Michael Penix and let him run, and we have a new answer in Atlanta?
Now, I'm not a Falcons fan, but I am an NFL fan, and I've kept tabs on this. So what the easiest thing and the I guess the obvious thing, you cannot pull Penix extreme right now. Once you give that young guy, even though he, like you said, he's a little bit older, but he's much younger than Cousins by leaps and bounds. You have to play Penix right now. I personally, if I'm the coach, I have no problem with having a $100 million backup because you have to think. It's kind of like the Shedeur Sanders effect. If you just simply put the money in different pocketbooks, if you put that $100 million in Penix and then whatever Penix contract in Cousins deal, it's the same money. What I'm saying is the money's allocated. So stop
you keep Kirk Cousins.
Keep him, yes,
Okay.
because you would essentially have $100 million quarterback anyway. If once he plays into his contract or whatnot, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Backup then makes backup money. So technically, yeah, your backup salary wise is playing, but from a physical standpoint, that's your starter. You can't go back to a broken down. Kind of confidence, wishy-washy kind of Cousins right now. Last year, he started off really, really well. I mean, he actually made me look smart. He made me look smart. He had a game, I think a Sunday night or a Monday night game, 300 yards. I'm like, look at my man. He's going to make the playoffs. I put down an early's bet that they, as well as Commanders, would both make playoffs. So hit on one, didn't hit on the other. But I have no problem swapping the two out. Because we gave you a chance, Kurt. We didn't screw you over.
Absolutely.
Landon, I did not sign you to a $100 million contract, and I'm keeping you in the room. What do we call the other room?
I don't even know.
The other room. I didn't hide you. I didn't stash you away. I gave you a chance. You unfortunately gave it up. So I have no problem letting this new guy play. Now, if Kirk is not going to play Chase Daniels for me, that's where I would have the issue. It's like I gave you the money. Not sure this one was fully guaranteed, but it's pretty much. He's getting a pretty big chunk of that 100 and so million. He's getting a sizable amount. So if you can't play well with the team, then I may have to look at moving possibly, to the Colts or someone like that can send me back a Daniel Jones or maybe a Richardson or something.
That's the interesting thing about the Colts is because you signed Daniel Jones and you've got a humongous...
Which he is going to win that job. I'll tell you that now.
Well, that huge question mark on Anthony Richardson. And what I've been saying is I think that this is like bottom dollar. Anthony, if you can't beat Daniel Jones for the starting position for the Indianapolis Colts... Sorry, but free agency.
Well, I'll tell you where I was at when I saw you had a nose ring. I don't like my quarterback with nose rings.
Well, I mean,
Elijah, I'm sorry. I don't know if you listen to Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd doesn't like the quarterbacks with the hats on backwards.
Really?
I'm not a quarterback with a nose ring guy. If my quarterback has a nose ring, I'm out.
It's just one of those things. Did you see any of the schedule release videos that the NFL teams released?
I saw some of them. I saw the ones that I specifically remember. I remember the Jaguars one. I remember the LA Chargers.
Somebody made fun of Tyreek, right?
That was the...
Whose was that with? The Colts, right?
The Colts.
The Colts made fun of Tyreek.
They had it taken down.
Yeah, they had it taken down.
That's right.
Well, the Chargers had one. It was completely Minecraft theme, and with all these schedule releases, you're poking fun at somebody. And it was a boat race between Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, and who's their other quarterback that they have on their roster right now?
Jones, Richard. It ain't Flacco because Flacco back.
No, Flacco's a Brown. Anyways, it was them, and the race starts, and Anthony Richardson gets far ahead, and then he stops and goes and fills up on gas because he's tired. Calling out. That, for me, right there, did it. Because you're supposed to be a leader in the NFL. You're supposed to be the guy that people can depend on. And you're
supposed to be a workworse. We're just stopping for gas for.
When you boldly proclaimed after the game, I was just tired. So
when he took himself out.
Yeah, when he took himself out. He was like, I was just tired. No fly zone. Bye. Out of here.
I'm out. I'm out on Anthony Richardson. You don't have to put any undue pressure on me to say that I'm out on the guy. I think we had 13 starts when he was coming out of Florida.
Yeah. But for the Colts, your answer can't be Daniel Jones.
No.
So does that mean you're looking for answer in next year's draft? Or are you looking for somebody else to sign, or maybe a trade midseason?
That's why. That's the only reason I threw the Colts out there.
Yeah.
Because just in other conversations, that's kind of the position I've taken. If I am going to do something with Kirk Cousins, I pick up the phone and I call the Ursays. Of course, they had an ownership change where the daughter is now the full owner of the team instead of Mr. Irsay. Strangely enough, guys, don't know where the hell I've been. I did not realize Mr. Irsay died last month.
Oh yeah,
I did not realize it. I just don't know. Story. When I saw the changeover of ownership, I was like, "Where's Jim Irsay?" So I looked it up about a month ago. So workaholic stuff, dude. I guess.
Well, it happens. But classic happy hour fashion, we are late for a break, so we probably need to go on that. We'll see you on the other side in Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
hungry for good meat, trust the family that has been feeding Memphis since 1967. Charlie Hogan and the Triangle Meat Company, formerly Children's Meat Market. Trust Triangle Meat for fresh beef, hamburger, and roast. Trust Triangle Meat for delicious pork ribs, chops, and butts. And trust Triangle Meat for tender chicken you'll love. Feeding lots of folks, Triangle Meat Company has all the meat you need. Shop Triangle Meat Company, 8 to 5, Monday through Saturday, 4790 Summer Avenue, 901-683-1192. Fresh or frozen, big or small, trust Triangle Meat Company.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, home guns, new guns, ghost guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Black, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections, appraisals, and free bar setting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsInMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Georgetown Parkway behind Perky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Getting engaged is one of life's most spectacular occasions. And when you find your ring at Sissy's Log Cabin, the promise of a lifetime begins with our promise to always provide unmatched quality, superior service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Find your dream engagement ring, wedding bands, and more when you shop Sissy'sLogCabin.com or stop by any of our 7 locations. Begin the rest of your life in brilliant, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 11 to join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church downtown Memphis. At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Whitten Road.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Yo, 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 yo. You know that's how we start on every show. We come back.
Yo.
We're going to keep Johnny alive in here one way or another, y'all.
His spirit lives on.
Spirit lives on.
He's
Welcome
still with
back
us,
to Happy Hour on Sports 56. You got Landon and Darian holding it down. Our man Elijah hanging with us, giving us a little bit of his time. But before we get to Landon's favorite part of the show, just wanted to give you guys not sure if this is breaking news, but in the past couple of hours or so, Ross Dellinger puts this out that a Tennessee court denies a preliminary injunction in the eligibility case brought by Tennessee basketball player Zakai Ziegler. That's not good news for our man Danger, I don't believe. Dellinger goes on to say Ziegler argued for an additional year of eligibility, challenging the NCAA's eligibility rule, granting athletes 4 seasons of competition in 5 years. So it's not exactly apples to apples, but it's not apples to oranges either. You kind of have to be in the know of this the NCAA, these eligibility rules and where these players stand, how long they played. So you kind of have to be in the know in each situation. But right now, Zakai Ziegler basically getting his injunction denied by a Tennessee court. Not sure how that's going to affect Mr. Danger. Hopefully it doesn't, but that's a big one for the Volunteer State as a whole.
Who was the player that the Memphis Tigers released the other day?
They transferred. Team? I forget my transfer guy the other day. But I know who you're talking about.
So I think with that, the big news for the Memphis Tiger basketball team is that currently we're a team of a bunch of guards. We have a lot of
that's true.
We have a lot of quick people. We have a lot of shooting people. We don't have any big men. So I think
Felipe Patino.
Yes, Felipe.
6'4" guy.
Yeah. So I think with him, I think the hope and the desire is that we go out and we find a big man to fill that role, because it's going to be hard to be
I think I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
That he was a casualty, basically.
Yes.
Patino. Okay.
I think so. Especially with all this news coming out with Danger, because it doesn't appear that Danger's going to be coming back, and I think we kind of put a lot of our eggs in the basket.
7-1 Bradshaw. It's only so much. He still had 5 fouls to give. After that 5th foul, then where do we turn, good sir?
Yeah. So I think we still need that role to be filled. So I think that's the hope of releasing a guy like him, so we could fill that and have Memphis Tigers having a fighting chance, because we need size.
I didn't think of that Patino may have been just you want to say cap casualty, in like professional terms, but he's not. He wasn't a cap casualty. But Patino, 6'4", obviously not a big man. 6'4" is good size, but he's not stopping Cooper Flag. Like no 6'4" guy is stopping a Cooper Flag like player. When you just talk about size and stature or whatever. But when you say bring in another big man, I don't, not familiar with the transfer portal. Not gonna play like I am, but I'm not sure what's left. Because from what I understand, when you go into the transfer portal, everybody's ranked. You have the best player available, the best guard, the best center. For lack of better words, a lot of money has been spent. So are they now down to C, D, people in the portal? Are they? I don't know. That's a question, someone smarter than me has to ask. But,
Let's open it up to the Texan Talk line, 901-360-8255.
Yeah, like where are we in the portal? Are there still A- big men available, B+ big men available? You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Just like a draft or something. The best players are going to be gone.
Well, my favorite player in the NBA is Jonas Valanciunas. I am not. I don't shy away from that. I just bought his Kings jersey. Shout out Nike. They're doing a deal all week. It's Nike week. All their jerseys, their gear, and stuff like that, 20% off. So go hit up the stores. Go
Elijah,
hit up something.
No problem. 20% off $150. It ain't like it's 20% off of $20.
Pocket change.
Pocket change. Yeah. Listen to the man. Listen to the man.
Whatever. No sweat off my back. But, shout out to that. Basically, my reason for saying that is there's players in Europe, man.
This is Access Hardwood.
Players in Europe, hey.
Players in Europe. There's always somebody going over there. All right, we got a little bit of hardwood.
Landon Wood. Let's call it Landon Wood. Can we call it Landon Wood the next 2 days?
Yeah. Elisha, all in agreement. It's got to be
unanimous. Landon Wood.
We all concur. The council has decided it is Landon Wood time.
Landon Wood time. I wanted to open this up by giving a shout out to my Mets. They're up 3-0. Man, Jeff McNeil has figured it out. Another homer. He's on fire right now. So I stumbled upon this list that was released a few days ago by CBS Sports' Brad Crawford.
All right, Brad.
So let's put on our college football knowledge and our helmets, and let's go back and let's think about the most impactful players that we know and that we remember and that we love.
What sport?
Because college football.
College football, okay.
College football. Everybody loves college football.
Okay.
Gotta love college football.
All right.
These are what he ranks as the 25 most dynamic players of the past 25
That's what I was
years.
going to ask you, sir. I was going to what's the time frame? You got to give me a time frame.
25 years.
25
Past 25 years.
Can I take a stab at one?
You certainly can. Go for it.
Reggie Bush.
What do you think, Elisha?
I'm going Tim Tebow.
I regret to inform you because this
Neither
hurts.
one of us
This
are right.
hurts my soul. Tim Tebow is not on this list
at all.
At all.
And it's a top 25?
Top 25
of the 25.
Tim
years.
Tebow did not make this list, which hurts my soul because I grew up as a Tebow fan. But Darian's absolutely correct. It's Reggie Bush.
Are you serious?
Reggie Bush is number one. USC running back.
Okay, now watch
Unbelievable.
this. Now ask the question again. What's the as far as the poll? Say the poll again. Because I got to understand this about
Say
Tebow.
define dynamic.
Yeah, define. Yeah, say what you said. What's the poll?
So it's literally just the list. It says 25 most dynamic players of the past 25 years.
Okay.
According to Brad Crawford.
Okay. I will agree with you on the Tim Tebow deal from dynamic. I think he was more impactful than dynamic.
When you hear who number 2 is, you'll understand how does Tim Tebow not make this list.
Because number 2, would that be a Louisville?
I bet I know who it is.
Would that be
Louisville?
There's not a Louisville quarterback
Nope.
that has won an MVP?
Nope.
My guess is Travis Hunter.
No, but Travis Hunter is on this list. He's number 6.
Number 2. And number 2 will tell us
Actually,
more.
number 2 was the backup to Tim Tebow.
Cam Newton?
Cam Newton, quarterback Auburn.
But that's the Auburn
Yes,
Cam,
Auburn
not Florida.
Cam.
Okay,
No, not Florida Cam.
Okay, dig this.
But so here's my thing.
Dig it.
He's regarded as a dynamic player, but yet Tim Tebow's not cracking the top 25.
Oh, because Tebow was a touchdown getter. Like that little play action fake jump pass, like that.
That kickstarted his career.
I don't want to say it wasn't dynamic, but you guys get it. As far as football, putting helmet to pad and making said play, I get it. Now,
I guess
you cannot use the word impactful, and I agree with it.
Right.
But
I gotta get more than the
dynamic,
list.
I'm with you. I'm with that with dynamic.
I think, to your point, I think if this was a list of
impact
and toughest players of all time,
He's
Tim
on
Tebow's
there.
got to make
But
that
as
list.
far as 1 and 2, 1,000%. Okay.
But
yeah.
this now makes even less sense because number 3 is another quarterback.
No, I kind of see where they're going. Let's see.
Johnny Manziel.
Oh, Johnny Money.
Johnny Manziel wins
come on,
number
man.
3.
You couldn't catch Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel used to look like Bo Jackson out there on them peeps in Tecmo Bowl, man.
I mean, yeah, he was great. I'm not denying that. He was fantastic in
Wasn't
college.
he taking number 1 too? Wasn't he number 1 pick, Johnny?
Yeah, to the Browns.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, he got paid. No, Mayfield. I know Mayfield won. Baker was one. Was Johnny Money one? I have to look that up. I believe so. But him being
I remember
dynamic,
Money Manziel went to the Browns.
Yeah, but was he one though? Was he one overall?
I kind of think he wasn't. I feel like an offensive tackle or an offensive guard got taken number 1 in that draft.
Maybe.
No, he was 22nd. Johnny Money was 22nd.
Johnny Money?
22nd. But I get it.
Well, anyways, that's number
totally
3. I mean, Manziel, yeah, he was all over the place. I mean, you just have to pull up that one play against Alabama.
What'd you give us? You gave us 6 already. Travis was 6.
Travis Hunter is number 6.
So we're basically have to guess the top 5 from Elijah.
The next 2 are also quarterbacks. You already tried to take your pick.
Louisville quarterback, former MVP,
That's the
NFL
one.
MVP. Okay, I'm with that. Jackson.
Yep.
He's what?
4.
He's 4. So you had.
So right now we have Reggie Bush, Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, Lamar Jackson on 25 most dynamic players
And
in
you
the past
say
25 years.
number 5 is a QB as well?
Number 5 is QB.
I assume if Tim Tebow isn't here, a guy like Marcus Mariota wouldn't be either.
You are correct. Mariota is not on this list.
Okay, don't give it to us. 5.
Number 5.
I assume Joe Burrow wouldn't be here either then.
Dynamic. I think when you say dynamic, you're using wheels. You're using legs.
That's what I'm thinking too.
You're using
So,
wheels.
no,
but
Burrow's not on
again, someone could spat at that and say Tim Tebow didn't use his legs. So I get this Tim Tebow thing is getting me.
It throws it off. But this other quarterback did not win a Heisman.
Kyler won a Heisman. Hurts did Hurts.
He went to my NFL team.
Tennessee. Cam? Old Cam? Another Cam?
Nope.
Okay.
Think earlier.
Vince Young?
There it is.
Who?
Vince Young.
Oh, Vince. Okay.
Vince Young,
That's
number
Reggie's
5.
quarterback. Reggie's quarterback. Okay, I'm with you on that.
Vince Young, number 6, we already established. Travis Hunter. This guy, number 7, running back, probably will go down if he's...
Scatterboo.
No.
Not Scatterboo, okay.
No. He will go down, if not the greatest running back in NFL history, one of the greatest running backs in NFL
Nobody
history.
in the league right now is nowhere near greatest of all time from a running back standpoint.
No.
Nowhere.
Because he's not active right now.
Nowhere near. Because I can rattle you off some old heads and like the list should stop there. When you talk about Jim Brown, talk about Barry Sanders,
Think past 25
Dickerson.
years.
I'll just say like right now, none of these guys. No, carry on.
No. So, any guesses? Or
Running
do we just roll?
Running back.
This guy win a Heisman?
Oh my goodness, I'm blanking so hard.
Does he have a Heisman? He can't tell us who it is because there will be said.
The first name that popped in my head was Marshawn Lynch, but I don't think it's him.
No, not Marshawn.
Where did Marshawn go?
California.
Cal. He's a Cal guy. You notice this list is SEC heavy too. No, not really. You got old Pac-12. You got old Pac-12 with
Old
Vince.
Pac-12 with Reggie Bush. Got ACC with Louisville. Old Big 12 with Texas.
And Vince was not Reggie's quarterback. That was Matt Leinart. I'm tripping, dude.
Yeah, I just kind of rolled with it.
Yeah, don't roll with it. Don't roll with it. Don't roll with it. Okay, I give up.
Number 7, Adrian Peterson.
All day.
Duh.
Okay.
Adrian Peterson. Okay. Number 8 is another SEC running back.
Okay. SEC running back.
Alabama?
No, but it does start with an A.
Auburn.
Nope.
Not Cadillac. Cadillac Williams.
Nope.
Not Cadillac.
Darren McFadden?
There it is.
DMC.
Darren McFadden.
Okay.
Unbelievable player. I agree with Darren McFadden on this list. I love him there. Number 9. Yeah, he was good. I don't know about...
Good, not great.
I don't know about number 9 on a list of 25 dynamic players, but wide receiver for Alabama. Tore it up in the Super Bowl last year.
Devontae Smith.
There's the one. Good.
He's above...
I don't know about 9.
Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, but...
Julio, man. There's a guy named Julio before him.
Julio ain't on this list.
Man. Okay.
That's the thing. So
that's why it's Landon Wood.
Devonta Smith, number 9. Number 10. This dude, I think, is he could be put up there as like if you were to go to the dictionary and look up dynamic, this guy's picture might show up.
What position? What position again?
Wide receiver.
Marvin Harrison.
No. Think Big 12. They Big 12?
Luther Burton, not from Missouri last year.
No, not that recent. Dude was running all over the place. Some might have called him a mountaineer.
Oh, Tavon Austin.
Tavon Austin.
Man.
Tavon Austin bringing up number 10.
Oh, I wonder what it is. All right. I guess, is that it?
So,
time to do it?
So synopsis on the top 10. What are we thinking? Do we think these people, just to recap, number 1, Reggie Bush, 2, Cam Newton, 3, Johnny Manziel, 4, Lamar Jackson, 5, Vince Young, 6, Travis Hunter, 7, Adrian Peterson, 8, Darren McFadden, 9, Devonta Smith, and 10, Tavon Austin.
Overall, I agree.
I don't know. This list is kind of eclectic to me.
It is.
I gotta know the criteria. I gotta know the system involved.
All we know is that if you want to ask Brad Crawford of CBS Sports, I'm sure he can give you all the answers that you're searching for because this is his list. But these are the dynamic players. I'll go ahead. I'll give us 25 through 21. 25, DeAnthony Thomas, running back out of Oregon. Number 24, Ted Ginn Jr., wide receiver, Ohio State. Sure. 23, running back, Dalvin Cook. Okay. I mean, he had his season.
He had his time.
He had his season. Number 22, quarterback from Michigan,
Denard Robinson.
Denard Robinson. That's the one. Number 21, Jadeveon Clowney. We all know his illustrious play. I don't know if that's the right word to describe that. Number 20, this dude, I absolutely loved him. He made the list in place of where Tim Tebow should have been, I think, but played with Tim Tebow.
Percy Harvin.
That's the guy.
Yeah, all right.
Look at that little dynamic right there. Number 19, RG3. Number 18, Darren Sproles, Kansas State running back. Number 17, I'm shocked he's not a little bit higher, running back Stanford, Christian McCaffrey. Number 16, Texas Tech wide receiver Michael Crabtree. And now, I guess, well, we got to leave. So
yeah, it's time to get out. Let's get out of here.
Number 11, Tyrann Mathieu. 12, Pat White, quarterback. 13, Kyler Murray. 14, Devin Hester. Gotta love some Devin Hester. And number 15 from Penn State,
all right,
Saquon Barkley.
Okay. All right,
so those are our 25 dynamic players, I guess. I don't really know.
Stay tuned tomorrow. More Landon Wood when we get back in here
Might
tomorrow.
Be another list, man.
Tomorrow we'll have a lot of people. With Jay Hammer being talking NBA. We have Mo, or I think we have Mo on tomorrow as well as Jerm. But anyway, thanks for hanging with us on Happy Hour Sports 56. Thanks for Elijah sitting in with us. Thanks to my man Landon, and I'm Darian. We will see you guys tomorrow.